Well, good morning, intrepid adventurers in the snow. It's good to see you here today. And just wanted to provide a little note here. We always have a chance to be a blessing to others. And I had it in a situation that surprised me earlier this week. There was a new tax that the borough had installed, and we needed some clarity. There was a form, and it was a little indistinct exactly how much was owed. And it was a point of some concern. And so Joe pointed me to the appropriate official, and I sent him an email first, and I didn't hear anything that night, so I called his number in the morning. And I got nothing at first, and they said, well, you can't leave a message because the queue is absolutely full, which didn't really surprise me considering there was a new tax. What did surprise me was a couple of minutes later, I did get an email from him, beautifully written, that totally answered all my questions, let me know what was what, and then a moment later the phone rang, and it was the tax collector. And I said, wow, you called me back. I said, well, you did call. He says, yes, and you already answered my questions beautifully. Oh, are you Mr. Snyder? Yes, I am. He said, I said, thank you very much. You really took care of that for me. He says, this is so wonderful. You didn't call to yell at me. So we can be a blessing on people on a daily basis in ways that will impress them that we can't even imagine, that we don't even think of as a blessing. But in this case, it really was. And so I was happy to have done that. I just passed that along so that we can all be a blessing to others in small ways every day. And now I'm going to ask you a serious question here. How many of you watched the Eagles game last week? Well, I'm glad to see the people of this church have strong hearts. And since there's a big Eagles crowd, I will do one more thing. And notice I've got the green on again. So, fly, Eagles, fly. Let's see what happens today. And I've already expressed my regrets to Melissa for the Cowboys situation last night. I'm sorry. Truly, I did not root for the other team, but, you know, here we are. So, now, being afraid. That is a nasty feeling. You feel alone, and you feel powerless, and you feel helpless in the face of something horrible, and that something might be something well known to you, or it might be completely unknown. You might have no clue as to what is coming, but you are afraid. Dr. Seuss dealt with that in a wonderful little story of his called What Was I Afraid Of? And it's a story of a small creature, which is a Seussian child, one of these odd little characters, who is terrified by a discovery that it has made. It has stumbled across on its walk a pair of pale green pants with nobody inside them walking down the street, and that was terrifying to it, just these pants going by. And it really destroys his life for a while. Well, in Isaiah, we're told not to be afraid because we're never alone. God is always with us, no matter how many pale green pants might come our way, because God loves us. But how do we do that? How do we keep from being afraid? Well, the people of Israel had gotten themselves into a real fix because they had become deaf and blind to God's ways. They were ignoring and defying the one who had created them and the one who loved them best, God. They acted, in fact, as if there was no God, and they spurned all his love and all his direction. And this was a painful thing for God. And God, in response, turns away from the people for a time. And when God turns away the people of Babylon, a much bigger power, they sweep in. And they take the Israelites away. They take them into exile. They burn Jerusalem. They destroy God's temple in Jerusalem. And from their faithlessness, the prophet Isaiah informs them that the people of Israel have become exiles. There are people who have been robbed, they have been plundered, they have been trapped in holes and hidden in prisons, is how Isaiah describes it. It's a terrible thing. And the people felt hopeless in the face of this far more powerful conquering nation that has taken them over. And they felt they were entirely alone. They had no savior. and no one who could restore them. The people of Israel were deeply, deeply afraid in that moment. What could possibly be done? Our fears today aren't quite like those of ancient Israel, but fear is fear nonetheless. We don't need to compare one fear to another. When you're afraid, and it can be pretty miserable. Children fear the unknown, and I'm not going to list everything people fear because that takes too long, but just certain categories of fears for different ages. They fear the boogie person, the pale green pants with nobody inside them, right? Adolescents fear not fitting in, they fear not being accepted, they fear finding out who they are, the transition from one school to another, a great many things. Young adults can fear not finding their life partner, or not securing a good job, or the proper career choice. They don't make it. An unintended pregnancy, addiction. Mature adults will fear losing their job, being stuck in a dead-end career, sudden sickness with heavy bills, the loss of a spouse, of a family, the harm to their children, just to name a few. And the elderly may fear the loss of their independence, the loss of their senses, the loss of the ability to drive, to take care of themselves or of their homes, you name it, the fear is there. Fear takes on so many forms. It can come as a sudden shock. It can come with grave doubts at 3 in the morning when you can't sleep. Stark terrors, nagging worries, gnawing dreads. Some fear is so persistent it becomes chronic. It won't leave you alone day or night, any day of the week. Fear may be rational, or it can be the product of misinformation, misrepresentation, projection on someone else. In Dr. Seuss's story, the poor creature is so afraid of those pants, which are ambling everywhere. Those pants even show up rowing a boat. I don't know how they rowed the boat, but they were out there. So he couldn't go out on the water or the land. He couldn't do any of the things he wanted to do. He couldn't go to the places he liked. He couldn't go to Greenwich for Greenwich spinach, which he loved to eat. He was trapped by fear, this poor little creature. So how do we deal with all of this? That's a lot of fear we're talking about here. Well, Isaiah had a shocking revelation for the people of Israel, who were feeling so lost and alone. He starts it out with, "Now thus says the Lord." And when a prophet says, "Thus says the Lord," he's saying, now I'm quoting what God wants to tell you directly. Not messing around here. This is the real deal. And he says, this is straight from God. Don't be afraid, people. God created the universe and God created you out of nothing. The God who did this will redeem you. Why? Because God calls you by name. God says, you are mine. Isaiah reminds the Israelites that God brought them through the deep waters, the parting of the Red Sea. He took Moses and the Israelites out of the phenomenal power that was Egypt under the Pharaoh. He saved them from the most terrifying military machine of the day, the chariots, which got washed away when they tried to come in behind the Israelites. Isaiah reminded the Israelites that God did not let the fire of war, the fire that consumed Jerusalem and the temple, did not let the Babylonian fire consume them. Isaiah states boldly, God created you. God is freeing you now. Using a conqueror at the time named Cyrus, who was running the Persian Empire, says he's bringing him in. The Babylonians are going to fall to him. The Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the people of Seba, which may have been Arabia. God is behind this conqueror. God is your real Savior. God is doing something no one else could and no idol could. No lowercase g God that anybody else worships could do. This is what God is doing for you. And why does God do such things? After the Israelites had been so badly straying, had ignored Him for so long, and had abused God, well, the answer is simple. God says, you are precious in my sight, and honored, and and I love you. Just let that sink in. And God says he would regather the people from the east and from the west and from the north and from the south. All the children of Israel are God's children. This is a very inclusive statement. He says the seeds of Israel, wherever it may have been scattered, are God's people and will be drawn in. All will be brought together. Isaiah states you've got to have faith because God has your back. Turn away from the bad old ways. Turn away from your fears and keep faith in God instead. Trust in God's love. Trust truly that you are God's beloved people. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Keep faith and do not be afraid. It's not an easy thing to do. Never is, but it worked. In 539 BC, God's people returned from Babylonian exile to Israel. Have faith that God wants to be with God's own people. It's joyous good news. And it's not just the news that Isaiah is telling them. It's not just from Isaiah that you're hearing, do not be afraid. In the New Testament, you hear it quite often. The angels at Christmas time, do not be afraid. And say to the shepherds, I bring you good news of great joy for all people. Then Jesus told his disciples repeatedly, I'm sure he told them at times like, look, feed those people, 5,000 of them. You know, you got a few loaves of fish, a few loaves of bread and a couple of pieces of fish, do it. I'll bet they were afraid. Right then. But Jesus told them all, do not be afraid. And then the risen Christ at Easter tells them, my peace I give to you, and do not be afraid. Isaiah looked back to Genesis, to the origin story of the people of Israel, and he reminds what God had told Abraham and Hagar and Isaac and Jacob, and it was, do not be afraid, because I will make a nation from you, a great nation. And he's showing Israel what God did for them out of love. And better still, God didn't save because Israel had come to its senses and suddenly measured up to a high standard. No. God saved them because that's who God is. God creates again and again, and God does it out of love. Salvation comes because God loves us, not the other way around. That's what God does for us. God declares, you are precious in my sight and honored, and I love you. Hear those words for yourself. We too are called to have faith in God, the God who loves us, the God who came to us in Jesus to set us free. Have faith that God has our backs today. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a preacher who felt compelled to return to Nazi Germany to speak out against Hitler and the depredations of the Nazis, while he was imprisoned by the Nazis in World War II, he compared prison life to waiting for God, he said, because the door is shut and can only be opened from the outside, from God's side, not ours. God names us, claims us, and knows us and loves us. Isaiah was too much of a realist, though, to claim that there's nothing to be afraid of. Because, of course, there is. Still, God stands with us in all our fearful times. We remain God's loved people at all times. The fire and water of fears that we navigate are easier to navigate when we know we are not alone. When we know that the Creator of the universe is with us and loves us. We are named God's people, and nothing, no violence, no hatred, no natural catastrophe, no war can separate us from God. We might be killed, we might be drowned or burned in a fire or a flood, but we cannot be separated from the love of God, not now or in eternity. So have faith in that, hold tight to that, bear up under the weight of your fear. Seek the advice of others who are struggling with similar fears. to help alleviate them. Talk about your fear. Pull it out into the light. Take it out of the darkness. Fear doesn't like that. Bring it into the light and keep your faith strong, because fear hates that most of all. Faith is the true opposite number of fear. Faith saw Jesus through his awful night in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he asked 3 times if this might not be taken away from him. The crucifixion came, but he never lost his faith. Faith saw the Israelites back to the promised land, and faith will see us home. Returning to Dr. Seuss, the miserable, fearful creature comes face to face with his fear, with those pants. He screams and protests, and he hears the pants begin to weep in terror, and realizes that they're just as afraid as he is, and for no good reason at all. And they became fast friends. So have faith that God will be with us and help us to face our fears together, so that we might live a life that is liberated from fear, that we might do the things we know that we ought to do, because we know a loving God who is with us now and forever. Fear limits our life. It paralyzes people in churches, keeps them from doing what they ought to do and what they want to do. We need to unclench our fearful selves. Open ourselves tentatively at first, and then with more practice, more powerfully, to our faith in God, so that we can be free to do the kinds of things that Jesus calls us to do. We can live better lives. The better lives of the creature and the pants. We can be open to new friendships, to new things, to new life, and a closer walk with God wherever God will lead us. Let's pause for a moment of silence.